Oaks Field on the campus of Foxcroft Academy, where the Ponies have a 28-0 halftime lead. Yeah, I'm Marc Calnan. I'm not the play-by-play guy tonight. Sean Stackhouse is. We're going to talk to Sean right now. Busy man on the esports front. Talk a little bit about that, because probably not a lot of our audience knows, but it's very popular. It's growing all the time, and you're a big part of it. Can you just maybe talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, when I really want to get weird looks from people, I just tell them, look, my full-time job is that I shout as kids send like remote-controlled, rocket-powered cars at each other and try to play soccer with them. Ultimately, what I do is I'm a Rocket League commentator, and Rocket League, of course, one of the big growing esports. Esports itself, kind of a booming industry that's really coming into its own now, and especially popping off on the collegiate and high school side, because you look at traditional sports, and how the NCAA has typically had like a vice grip on just how student athletes are able to conduct themselves, and whether or not they can make money as a college student. And that's changing, but in esports, we have these collegiate competitions where, yeah, sure, officially they're competing for scholarship money, but you can also be a professional player and compete in a collegiate league and get, the full-time salary of your team, which is often thousands of dollars a month, the scholarship prize that may or may not go into tuition. I don't know how any of that stuff works, but if you perform well in
field on the campus of Foxcroft Academy, where the Ponies have a 28-0 halftime lead. Yeah, I'm Marc Calnan. I'm not the play-by-play guy tonight. Sean Stackhouse is. We're going to talk to Sean right now. Busy man on the esports front. Talk a little bit about that, because probably not a lot of our audience knows, but it's very popular. It's growing all the time, and you're a big part of it. Can you just maybe talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, when I really want to get weird looks from people, I just tell them, look, my full-time job is that I shout as kids send like remote-controlled, rocket-powered cars at each other and try to play soccer with them. Ultimately, what I do is I'm a Rocket League commentator, and Rocket League, of course, one of the big growing esports. Esports itself, kind of a booming industry that's really coming into its own now, and especially popping off on the collegiate and high school side, because you look at traditional sports, and how the NCAA has typically had like a vice grip on just how student athletes are able to conduct themselves, and whether or not they can make money as a college student. And that's changing, but in esports, we have these collegiate competitions where, yeah, sure, officially they're competing for scholarship money, but you can also be a professional player and compete in a collegiate league and get, the full-time salary of your team, which is often thousands of dollars a month, the scholarship prize that may or may not go into tuition. I don't know how any of that stuff works, but if you perform well in these collegiate competitions and the high school competitions, you can win money prizes there too. And the business side of it is wild.
And talk about, now you're all over the country, even the world, doing this. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, it started just, at my place, just recording a quick little demo in the game for a tournament organizer online. It was like, hey, record what you can do, and I'll see if I can use you on a weekly tournament or something. And that ballooned into, over, the next year and a half, being flown out to Dallas and Wisconsin, and then regularly for a studio show in Burbank, California. And most recently, I've been lucky enough to be able to travel even during a pandemic, spending I spent a month in Poland working with ESL out there for the Intel World Open, which was in partnership with the Tokyo Olympics, and the We Play Invitational in Kiev, Ukraine. We spent like a week out there on that show, and it's something that has just truly been a blessing. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me because, even 5 or 6 years ago, even when I started doing this, I thought, my whole life was going to be lived in the confines of the state of Maine, and traveling was just not going to be a thing because I'm going paycheck to paycheck if I'm lucky.
Yeah.
And now it's something that has I've been able to make a living off of this, and I'm truly grateful for it.
Well, that's incredible. I mean, just the experiences that you're getting, through this, and now how could you mentioned the high schools. No, that's a good way for kids to start. Now that's it's a MPA thing too, isn't it?
Yeah, the MPA has sponsored Rocket League and League of Legends as esports, and Foxcroft Academy has or at least they had. I think they still have a Rocket League team. They made the playoffs in the spring of last season, and it's usually like an 8-team playoff. You play your 8 to 10 weeks of regular season, and then everybody lines up to get clapped by Deering because they're pretty good down there. They have never lost a match. They've won both state titles so far, but it is fun just seeing the unique kids that come around. I mean, this week we were looking at only having 4 players available. We were probably going to have to forfeit one of our matches, and then we have a kid on the soccer team. Their season ended, and he just went and just talked to all his friends on the soccer team and said, "Yo, y'all play soccer? Come play car soccer."
That's awesome.
And, the next day, we had 9 kids in the room with our 6 PCs.
Yeah.
So, and then one of those players, brand new to the team, joined our 2 seniors and helped us win our match, one of our matches with Woodland on Thursday. So it was quite the wild turn of events.
And and sometimes you might get the kids that are very interested in this, and they never got to do this. Maybe they're not interested in playing football or basketball or soccer or wrestling, and you probably getting kids more involved in things. Huh?
Yeah, and the best thing, enrollment doesn't matter. In traditional sports in high school, everything is enrollment. A Class C team should never compete against a Class A team. Well, yada yada yada. Sumner's got one hell of a team. Who else? Morris has a great team. Spruce Mountain at one point probably had the second best team. Mount Ararat really gave Deering a test in the state championship last spring. There are teams all over the state. I think as far north as Caribou, because we just played Caribou. Our A team got swept by Caribou. Sad face, but. And then as far north as I think Deering might be the furthest south. I don't know for sure, but we have I think 25 or so teams across the state, and it's just something that keeps on growing and growing. And
I know locally here, I think PCHS has one.
PCHS, yeah. Ryan Botting coaching that squad, and Ryan and I actually go way back, so I'm really happy for him. I think he had said at some point in the last year or so, for the first time, he had kids that were really excited about it, and seeing him, really enjoying what he's doing there is great.
Yeah, that's great. And you, just to clarify, when you say we, you coach the MCI team.
Yeah. I guess I should mention. Yes, I'm the coach of the MCI Rocket League team. I'm actually wearing my the pack. We call ourselves the Pack. So I'm wearing my Rocket League jacket. The only thing is Jim Leonard, the AD at MCI, he got these for us. They don't have any pockets in them, and I really feel like I'm gonna tell him okay. If we win a state title, can we get pockets? Yeah. That's all I want is a pocket.
That's the thing. That's the goal. And on another note, locally, and by the way, that's just amazing what you've done with, personally, growing yourself into, being very good at what you do. I mean, and that's congratulations on that. But also locally, seeing the high school kids, more kids getting involved and stuff is great to see. Next, let's talk about, you also do a lot of stuff for UMaine. Most recently, today and Sunday, you're doing field hockey PA, right? And then UMaine, quite a story there. They get to host and get into the championship game, huh?
Yeah, we get to host. We get to show America East what a host looks like. I love it. No, all kidding aside.
America East and playing California and Stanford, right?
Yeah, right? Yeah, and we have lights, so that's great. But No, we Maine was the number 1 seed, nationally ranked at one point of the season, and I mean they've been nationally ranked multiple times over the past several years, and we get to play the America East Conference Championship on the East Coast. Imagine that. We're not going over to like the University of the Pacific or anything like that in the Sea to Shining Sea Conference. Maine won, so Maine got a bye in the first round, and then they beat Cal tonight, and actually I think the Cal team's up at the hockey game right now. They just decided, well, what else are we going to do here now? So yeah, they beat Cal 2-1. They had to come from behind. They were down 1-0 at halftime. Had a penalty stroke even in the first half and didn't score. But they had 11-1 in corners or something like that. It was ridiculous. And Albany won the second semifinal. They beat Monmouth 1-0. So, ho-hum, just another Maine and Albany women's matchup. This time it's in field hockey, and hopefully similar history as we've had with basketball in that matchup.
No, I know you're busy with your Rocket League and all that. Is that going to cut down? You Maine the basketball season starting here very shortly. Yeah, you're going to still get to do that? Yeah,
fortunately I'm allowed to be a little flexible, right? Mm-hmm. Because we usually have our shows, we'll have a show about 1 o'clock Friday, which, by the way, some of these pros are high school kids, so they're missing school on Friday to go play their professional Rocket League. It's wild. Then we have our 1 o'clock show Saturday, and we go 1 o'clock again on Sundays. So there'll be some days where, we have so many of us that we really just have to work a segment or two. Mm-hmm. So I can just ask, all right, hey, Maine needs me for women's basketball. Can I go do that on Saturday and then come cast the better matches on Sunday?
You're like on the A team, like Buck and Aikman, right?
Yeah, exactly, right. I wish. No, I'm new to the main show actually this season. This is the first time I've been up on the primary broadcast. I'd always been on the secondary league, the rival series, or just the B stream, and it's a different view up at the top.
Lastly, you did PA for MCI again this fall, right?
Yep.
So, yeah, and you going to do any of their basketball when you get a chance this winter?
Yeah, so I don't know what basketball looks like. My guess is what I've heard from a lot of schools, and I don't know if this is breaking news, but I'm expecting a lot of teams are going to have home fans only. Mm-hmm. I don't know how on earth they plan on enforcing it, but cool, good luck. But mostly home fans, so we'll probably do starting lineups, and then I'll just run the clock.
Mm-hmm. But be looking for us, Eastern Maine Sports Media, throughout the area. We'll be doing a lot of local games.
I expect you guys will be busy because there will be a lot of demand to have the games broadcasted.
And we'll be locally, be a lot of, here at Foxcroft. Toby Nelson's team should be very competitive in Class B this winter. Plus, PCHS, Dexter, Central, local. We'll hopefully be over to MCI a couple times. And, we're always treated well over there. So hopefully we'll be over there. But we'll be expect to do a lot of games this winter.
Yep. If you were ever not treated well over there, you let me know. And you know what? I will, you can't see right now, but I'm punching an open hand. I will make sure. Yeah, you guys are treated like kings.
Yeah, no, it's great to go over there. Great, all these local schools treat us nice, and looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the next few weeks too. But it is warm.